March 17th. Looks like we're getting the bounce. So we'll take a look at a couple of the bouncing stocks here. SMH, CTF. I called that basically a few days ago. This would come potentially up to 232, anywhere between 120 and 232. Looks like we got MACD cross, and there's some follow through here. So I would say on the short run, it's probably time to take some profits off and then see what happens. So I would take a little profits and see what happens in the next couple of days here. We are seeing a little weakness in NVIDIA as we're approaching this cross here, without some much higher thrust above these two averages here. It looks kind of bearish to me. It's still, because this is still approaching that bear cross. So be careful with this one, NVIDIA and SMH going forward. Looks like Tesla looks like it's primed for a pop. MACD did not cross yet. We get a little downward motion, 5% downward. Potentially, I'm not in love with this setup here. Potentially you get some cross up and that'll bring us up to 280 to test. I have no trades on this one, so just commenting. Intel, big pop, gap higher. We're seeing Intel, pop on some volume today, and potentially this could turn into golden cross. But only time will tell for that one. If it comes back down below this 200-day moving average, back in between 50 and 200, then I think we're still going to be in a bearish kind of motion here for this one. Let's see, we got also, it looks like it broke above this trend line, retested, popped again. We'll see what happens. If this pop fails, it could come straight back down to 20 again. So I have no trades on this one. Baba said this is headed higher. Indeed it is. Bull flag broke out, and it looks like we got a gap here around 158, 160. That's going to be filled. Looks like almost for certain. And in the longer term chart, you got the golden cross, which is upcoming. So I think it's going to 160 at least in the short run for this one. BIDU breakout above the 50 here, and it looks strong. Could retest 124 here. I do like BIDU setup. I liked it in the 90s, and now we see on this trend line, it's a pretty solid trend line. It still didn't break out, but if it breaks out above that trend line, this thing could potentially head much higher. BIDU is one of the cheapest stocks in in the space, and they're releasing all the AI stuff. That same thing as Baba and all the others. So yeah, don't discount this. Don't discount the Chinese stocks. GOTU, for example. I said we were bullish on this one. We see 10% pop. It's above. It's trading above 50 and 200. Looks bullish. Stay long. Looks good here. Bull flag. Positive MACD cross. RSI is increasing. We could add in the accumulation levels too. Let's add in accumulation. And yeah, we see for sure there's accumulation. Looks like back up to at least these levels, which could imply that we had a little higher in the short term. If this continues, it looks like, we could retest this 8 zone and see what happens with GOTU around 8. They're using a lot of AI. They came out recently with positive news that they have less losses. So I think it's potentially a bullish play. TTD, we're seeing a bounce. So highly oversold, which we said the other day. And even though they had some negative news recently, This is the most oversold that the company's been in a very long time. In fact, it hits accumulation support right in here. Okay, that's very long-term support. Could it go a little lower? Yeah, sure. There could be negative news, and this could pop lower again. But barring that, I see this thing popping up to 60 in the short run. There is a small gap around 68, so I think we continue to watch this pop potentially up into that mid 70s range in the coming days. So yeah, just I would say long this in the 50s. If you're long above here, yeah, I'm not sure if I'll ever see these highs again, but anytime soon. But yeah, in the short run, it looks like we're popping. Um, so let's take a look at the loser, Affirm. Um, yeah, I would not own this one. It looks like there might have been some kind of golden cross here potentially in the long-term chart, but on the short-term chart, we've tested this 200-day. Looks like it's kind of holding around there. If I had to look at this, I would say there's a bear flag here pattern, potentially headed lower. I would not own this. There's nothing in here that would tell me that this would be a great buy right now. So I would stay away for now for this one. Um, yeah, so those are the main ones I wanted to look at today. We had also some of the macro data that continues to come out about tariffs and this type of thing. Generally speaking, the tariffs, while short-term pain in the market as a news headline, they don't really mean too much in the grand scheme of things because all those deals work out some way anyway. So in the grand scheme of things, while there might be short-term effects of those things, generally speaking, from a macro view, the tariffs don't play a huge role in the long-term view of the economy. Another stock that got slammed, very bearish on, is Kohl's. Been bearish on this for a very long time. This reminds me of Walgreens. So just another dying business. There's no way I would own this in any short run or long run capacity. So yeah, sure, could it pop? Absolutely, but I wouldn't own it. GES did see a nice pop today. It's in a bearish downtrend, but if it can hold above that 50-day, it looks like we may get a positive pop up higher. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing with this one. Solid downtrend. Yeah, if it can pop above that trend, that downtrend here, if it could pop above, then I'd be more bullish on GES. But right now, it's stay the course. We'll see. It's a giant gap that's been formed. We want to see if it holds the gains. So I would say it's a wait and see scenario for this one. So really, to recap, the buys in the short term might be potentially Tesla for a short pop here. Baba, Baidu, stay away from Affirm, stay away from Intel because that's already had the pop. GES we don't want to guess, so stay away from GES because it could go either way. We just don't really have a good indication of where this would go. So yeah, there's a few good ones in here, few nuggets. LVS, let's check out LVS. LVS looks like kind of in a downtrend. Not loving this chart. Nothing really to speak about with LVS. Let's go with Penn Gaming. Penn looks like it's kind of bearish. I don't love the MACD here. It might be a small pop in the short term, and it might pop to 19 as a retest, but we have a downward trend. So trend is your friend, and continuation pattern is lower. So I would stay away from that. Churchill Downs is one I was watching for a little bit. I think it's a little oversold here, in my opinion. Could it go lower? Sure. But it looks like it really just held this 106 level, which is really vital for this stock. So I think we might see a continuation of a pop in the coming weeks, back up to maybe 120 or something like that for Churchill downs. But again, this is in a context of this large distribution and drawdown that we're seeing in this stock. So again, short-term pop maybe, but again, not in love with this one in long term, especially at these prices. So I just wanted to update y'all on this nice day today on March 17th. Like, subscribe, comment below. What do you guys want to see next? Want more macro, more micro, more talk about the others in the spaces, George Gammon or others, thoughtful money, and those 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 guys and gals in this space. Let me know. Take care.